Hello everyone, welcome to Bhadra Academy. So today let's continue our daily quiz. So today we are dealing with episode 28. So let's begin with question number 271. The mind and ideals of the framers of the constitution are reflected in which part of the constitution, right? So whether it's found in the preamble, fundamental duties, fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, right? So the correct answer for this question would be A. So the mind and ideals of the framers of the constitution are basically found in the preamble, right? Because it sets out our philosophy, the objectives of the constitution, it reflects the aspirations of the people. So therefore the preamble, we can say, is the main part from where we get to know the mind, also the ideals of the framers of our constitution. Question number 272. The Indian constitution, right? So which of the following is not a feature of the constitution? So which is not a feature of our Indian constitution? Parliamentary form of government, independence of judiciary, presidential form of government, federal government. So which is not? So which is not in India? We don't have the presidential form of the government, right? So the presidential form of the government is not a feature of the Indian constitution. So the answer would be C, because we have the parliamentary form of government, independence of judiciary. We also have a quasi-federal government. Question number 273. What is the basis of classification of governments as unitary and federal? Is it the relationship between the legislature and the executive, executive and judiciary, between the center and states, between the legislature, executive and judicial wings of government? So the correct answer would be C, the relationship between the center and the states. What do we call the distribution of power between the center and states in India? So that makes the, what we can say, the classification of governments as either unitary and federal. So therefore India is a kind of a quasi-federal government. Question number 274. The Government of India Act 1935, which played a very important role. So this was based on which of the following? Simon Commission, Lord Curzon Commission, right? Dimitrov Thesis, Lord Clive's report. So if you look at it, the provincial part of the Government of India Act 1935, it was basically followed by the, what we can say, the Simon Commission recommendation, right? So it has proposed fully responsible government in the provinces, right? So the correct answer would be therefore option A, Simon Commission, right? Question number 275. Who described the Government of India Act 1935 as the new Charter of Bondage? Okay, so who described this Act of 1935 as the new Charter of Bondage, right? So we have a Mahatma Gandhi, Rajendra Prasad, Jawaharlal Nehru, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So the correct answer for this would be answer C, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. At the Faizpur session of the Congress in December 1936, Jawaharlal Nehru in his presidential address referred to the Government of India Act as the new Charter of Bondage. Okay, so therefore the correct answer would be Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Question number 276. Which of the following is an essential element of the state? When you say a country, which is the essential element of the state? So we have options here: sovereignty, government, territory, all of these. So the correct answer is D, all of these. Why? Because when we talk about the elements of any country, first thing is the population, second you must have a definite territory, then you should have a government, and you should have a sovereignty. That means you should be independent, you should not be under somebody else's control, then only it's a proper a state or a government, right? A country. Fine. Question number 277. when was the first Central Legislative Assembly constituted? Right? When was the first Central Legislative Assembly constituted? So the correct answer would be 1920. So we have 1922, 23, 21. So why 1920? So the Central Legislative Assembly was a legislature for India created by the Government of India Act 1919, the old one. Okay. So that is why we say it was constituted in 1920. So the correct answer would be option D, 1920. Question number 278. The concept of rule of law is a special feature of the constitutional system from where? Is it Britain or USA or France or Switzerland? So the correct answer, the rule of law, it's a special feature of Britain, right? So the rule of law is an aspect of the British Constitution that has been emphasized by 𝗕𝗏𝗸𝗏, right, and considered an important part of the British politics as well, right? So now the rule of law therefore is important everywhere. Today we are following the rule of law. It involves the rights of individuals, right, that are determined by the legal rules. There can be no punishment unless the court decides under some law, right? So the law becomes the foundation for all the punishments or rule or everything. Question number 279. The method of amending the constitution by popular veto is found in which of the following? So the options are Britain, Switzerland, Russia, India. So the correct answer would be Switzerland, that is option B. Okay, because Switzerland has made the provisions for referendums, popular votes on the laws and constitutional decrees, right? Therefore, I also mentioned in the earlier questions that Switzerland practices what we call direct democracy, right? So also we have given here, if you see, Switzerland is a classic example of direct democracy. Therefore, they have the referendum, plebiscite and these kind of facilities available as part of their governance. So here, therefore, the correct answer would be Switzerland. Question number 280. Which of the following is the inalienable attribute of the parliamentary system? Flexibility of the constitution, fusion of the executive and legislature, judicial supremacy, parliamentary sovereignty. Which is the inalienable attribute of the parliamentary system of government? So the correct answer would be B, the fusion, that is the mix of executive and legislature. So if you see the elected members of the government, they are the executive and at the same time they also legislate laws, right? So the parliamentary system is a system of democratic governance of state in which the executive branch derives the democratic legitimacy and also is held accountable to legislature. So the executive as well as the legislative branches are thus interconnected. Matlab they are twined, they are mixed, right? So therefore, if you see here, the legislature and the executive, they are actually combined in the parliamentary system. Clear now? So now, if you are preparing for any exams like SSC, banking, railways, ADRE, right, or any other state level exams, you can contact Bhadra IAS Academy for any help and support. You can call us at 8638391721. Okay, and keep watching our quiz series for more and more questions for your exam preparation. Thank you.